So we were discussing about the two external factors. One is actually the Kalyanamita association, and the other one, the second one, is the listening to Dhamma. So these two factors are very essential for someone to complete their phala. Aligning can happen, but completion needs all four factors. So the internal factors are Yoniso Manasikara and Dhamma Anudhamma Patipada. What is Yoniso Manasikara? Yoniso Manasikara is actually listening to Dhamma with an open mindset and a very analytical kind of mindset. You are aligning Dhamma with your own life and seeing whether it actually resembles what is, your life resembles what is being said. So it is like a reflection on our own lives, whether we are experiencing what is being said. Characteristic of anicca. Am I experiencing anicca through my life? Characteristic of dukkha and anatta. Am I experiencing these factors through my own life? So if one is experiencing them, if one is understanding that, then that is actually yoniso manasikara. So that is very important factor in this Dhamma discussion, in every Dhamma discussion. So that is Dhammanudhamma Patipada. That is yoniso manasikara. Then comes the Dhammanudhamma Patipada. So Dhammanudhamma Patipada is actually aligning while you are listening. So we took, actually I was telling this example before about a hunter. So let's say there was a hunter, and this hunter is actually listening to some kind of laukika practice or laukika samadhi from a preacher. And this preacher is saying, okay, hunting is bad. These are the consequences of hunting. And if you continue to do this, you will have bad outcomes. And the person is very attentively listening and actually understanding what is being said. And he decides in his within him, he decides and he contemplates, okay, this person is telling the truth and I can understand I am doing something wrong, and if I continue to do this I will have bad consequences. I understand that now, so I'll stop it. So he's aligning while he's listening. So Dhamma Anudhamma Patipada. So the person who is sitting for the Dhamma discussion is not the person who is standing up from the Dhamma discussion. So person who was sitting was a person who is killing animals, who is cruel to animals, and who has no understanding about karma and karma vipaka. So that is the kind of person who sits down. But the person who stands up is a virtuous person who has given up hunting, who has changed his life for a better outcome, has seen his faults and corrected his faults to become the better version of himself. So that is what Dhamma Anudhamma Patipada does. So initially, when somebody sits for a Dhamma discussion, he is not free from four hells. He is not free from doing anantarika akusala. But when the person stands up from the discussion after becoming Sotapanna, because Dhamma Anudhamma Patipada also aligned, then that person is different from the person who sat down for the discussion. This person is free from four hells, because while he is listening, while he is understanding Dhamma, his life also changed. His life approach to life also changed while he is listening to Dhamma. So that is actually Dhammanudhamma Patipada. So these four factors needs to be aligned, otherwise one would not be able to complete the phala, or the last state. Sotapanna state needs these four factors. But in the question, the factor that was focused is Patirupadesa Vasocha. Now that's a different story. in Patirupadesa Vasocha is actually a part of Mahamangala Sutta. So Mahamangala Sutta, if I tell you the background of it, it is a result of a doubt that occurred between among humans as well as deities. It started among humans first. So humans were discussing what are the lucky things in the world, or positive instances in the world, positive things. What are the positive things? One was saying, what you see are the positive things. One was saying, some people were saying, okay, what you are listening are considered as positive. And others were saying, no, what you feel as touch is considered as positive or lucky. So these were called Ditta Mangala, Sutta Mangala, and Mutta Mangala. Ditta means sight, Sutta means hearing or sound, Mutta means touch. So Mangala means positive or lucky or in a good way. So good things. So people were saying, okay, if you see a white bird or a container full of water in the morning, that is sight. That is something you see. And these are the things that are considered as lucky or positive or good. And others were saying, no, it's not the sight. It's all about the sound. So if you hear this specific bird crying in the morning, a sound of this bird or sound of this animal in the morning, or if you hear these words in the morning, these are the things that are considered as positive. And others were saying, no, both of you are wrong, and what is considered as lucky or positive or good is actually what you feel. Feeling, if you get this certain type of feeling through touch, that is what is considered as positive. So this discussion among humans created doubts among deities, and deities were having a lot of arguments and discussions. So they also could not come to a conclusion. So one of the gods brought this problem to Supreme Buddha. And the answer to this question was actually a sermon or a discussion of how to become Arihat after completing all the lay life, at the latter part of the life, attaining or entering the monkhood and completing the Arya pathway and ending samsaric cycle. So this is actually a recipe given to attain that or get to that goal. So it starts with Asevanacha Balana. So let's say that now we start with a very small age, very, very small. Let's say a child who can only walk and talk few sentences. Maybe from that age, if you get bad influence from bad individuals, in this instance, individuals who has no Dhamma understanding, and then that is a bad, unlucky thing to happen, a negative thing to happen. But if one do not get that kind of association, that is a positive thing, a lucky thing, a plus point. Asevanacha balana. Panditanancha sevana. If you get the association with Kalyana Mittas, people who has the correct view of Dhamma, that is a plus thing. That is a lucky thing. That is a good thing to happen. Asevanacha balanam panditanancha sevana. Puja cha pujaniyana. Etam mangala muttamam. So paying respect to the ones who should be respected. That means the person knows what is right and what is wrong at that point. Because then only you can decide and differentiate who is good, who is bad, who should be respected, who should not be respected, what things should be respected, what are the things, what are the habits, what are the practices that should not be respected. So that person has grown through the Kalyana Mitra association to a person who can differentiate good and bad. Patirupa Desava Socha. Then comes, so the first one goes Asevanacha Balanam, Panditanacha Sevana, Pujacha Pujaniyanam, Etam Mangala Muttama. Then comes the Patirupa Desava Socha. Ubbecha kata punyata, Attasamma panidija, etamangala mutta. So I will not go through the whole thing because it will take some time to do that. So I'll only go to the extent that is needed for this question. So then next, in the next gatha or the stanza, we have Patirupa Desa Vasocha. Patirupa Desa Vasocha is about, you know, if somebody is staying in a bad neighborhood, this has a lay meaning as well, right? Lay as well as Arya. You can think about the lay part as well as the lay means, you know, the Laukika part and Lokottara part. It has both. So Laukika part is actually having, if one is actually residing in a place where there are a lot of, let's say, bad people, unwholesome people like gang members, a lot of drugs, and a lot of violence, gunfights, and everything. And if we were brought up in that kind of a neighborhood, it's not good. It's not a positive thing to happen. It's not a good thing to happen. But if someone was brought up in an area where there's a lot of where there are a lot of good people, peaceful people, and people who could be an example to others, then that is a positive thing, a good thing to happen. So that actually what is meant by Patirupadesa Vasocha here. So in this Arya context, if somebody is staying in a place where there are a lot of Aryas, Arya influence, if you are surrounded with Arya influence, then that is actually a positive thing to happen, because those are actually the most positive things that can happen to a person in his life, right? Because then that person would grow up to become a great Arya person without much hassle and dazzle, without much discomfort. That means without much effort, because you are naturally aligning. All the external factors are aligning very well for that person, and that person would cultivate Dhamma from the beginning of his life. And it would be very easy because he would not develop all the unnecessary vinyanas that needs to be eliminated in the latter part of his life to clean up his mindset from defilements, because he doesn't get that exposure in the first place. So it's very easy for that kind of a person. So it goes on like that, right? It then goes pubbeta kata punyata. So starting something. So before starting something, doing something meritorious is pubbeta kata punyata. So doing something meritorious and starting work. Let's say in the olden era, people used to remember or focus on Buddha Dhamma Sangha before starting works. Even the drivers start to do the gesture of praying, or say sadhu, 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 one sadhu for Buddha, one sadhu for Dhamma, one sadhu for Sangha, and they reflect or they remind themselves about Buddha Dhamma Sangha, the great qualities of Buddha Dhamma Sangha before starting driving, before even starting to start cultivating crops. So they did it at all instances, even before starting work, and as soon as they wake up in the morning. So they used to do this because it creates the great samanantara, a good samanantara for the day, because you are starting your day with a positive thing. Now that is actually a lucky sight, lucky sound, and a lucky, if it is about touch, it's a lucky touch. So a positive one. So that is actually called puppeta kata punyata. So likewise, there are many factors that were discussed here. So it goes on like, then you start you start a good job or a good profession. You enter a good profession which actually is not harmful for the society but good for the society. Then you start helping out the parents and maybe the spouse and children, and you become a very virtuous and a very good person for the society, and you grow like that. And then this goes from like 30s and 40s, and when the person becomes 40 plus, then the person is more associated with Dhamma. So go to see Dhamma, people who are involved with Dhamma, like monks, and do more Dhamma discussions now. Now he's entering his second phase of his life. Now he has completed all the good things in his life. That means the lay things has been completed. The virtuous lay life is now coming to an end, and the person is shifting after doing all the good, all the responsibilities and duties towards the spouse, towards children. Now the person is aligning towards Dhamma more and more. So it goes like tapocha brahmacharyancha. So he is entering the tapasa. Tapasa means, the hermit life. Tapocha brahmacharyancha arya satchana dasanang nibbana satchi kiriyacha etam mangalamuktam. I can't remember everything about this Pali terms. So it goes like, I can't remember the whole sutta if to explain right now. So it goes like, so from this starting of the life as a small child, he grows into a good adult who is actually helpful to the society, who is helpful to his people who are surrounding him. And now when he becomes 40 plus, changes his life into a more Dhamma acknowledging and Dhamma practicing person, and enters the hermit life, changes his lay approach, and becomes a monk, and ends his life at after completing his Arya journey, attaining Nibbana. So that is the whole story about Mahamangala Sutta. So the part that was mentioned in the question is actually one of the factors that are considered as positive or lucky or a good thing that can happen in this world for a person. So that has nothing with the Sotapatti, or the four main things that should align for someone to become Sotapanna. That has nothing to do with these four prerequisites. So these four prerequisites doesn't have to do anything with the place. This is so there were stories, right? Initially, of course, China, Japan, Korea, and also Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, India, Sri Lanka, as well as the other countries like Afghanistan, up until Saudi Arabia, had Buddhism and had Arihats and had individuals who had Arya understanding. So we can't say, and it is not rational to say, that everyone from those areas. This covers a very, very long or a very, very big area of the world, right? So we can't say that everybody gathered to one place to discuss Dhamma. No, it's not like that. So when one understands Dhamma, then that person has the ability to spread it to others, because he is the Kalyana Mitta now. Now he can move into Saudi Arabia and preach this Dhamma to people in Saudi Arabia. So this is called Sunaparanta Desa. Actually, there's a story called Sunaparanta Punna Thero, or he's a Arihat Thero. He comes to listen to Supreme Buddha's Dhamma while he was in a trade business. So he comes to where Supreme Buddha resides, and understands that this is Supreme Buddha, and goes and listens to his Dhamma and becomes Sotapanna, and he drops the trade business and becomes a bhikkhu and completes his Arya journey maybe in a very short time period, like a month or week. So after him doing, so before doing that, he became Sotapanna, right? So he became Sotapanna and he was trying to become Arihat, and it is not working for him. And he went to Supreme Buddha and asked, okay, can I go to my original lands, which is Saudi Arabia? So Supreme Buddha was saying, so are you sure? These people in Saudi Arabia, now Saudi Arabia, but this is not about Saudi Arabia. This is the place which was there before. So let's call it Sunaparanta because it's better. Otherwise, it might not do fairness for the people living there right now. So it's called Sunaparanta back then. So people in Sunaparanta, Supreme Buddha was saying, people of Sunaparanta are harsh, and people of Sunaparanta are full of anger sometimes. So are you sure you want to go there? What if they started shouting at you, blaming at you, and scolding at you? Then Sotapatti Thero was saying he was also that national from Saudi, that Sotapatti is, right? So he was saying, okay, if they started scolding me, they started attacking me with words, I would be happy thinking they are very kind. They are only attacking me with words. A worse person would have attacked me with, physically, but they are not doing that. That means they are very good people. And I would spread metta to those people while thinking like that. So then Supreme Buddha was asked, what if they started attacking you physically? That means using their hands, and you don't know, bare hands. Then I would be thinking they are very kind. They are not attacking me with, the weapons. They are very good people. They are not attacking with me. They are not attacking me with swords or poles and all sorts of other weapons that can be used. So they are very kind people. I would think like that. Then Supreme Buddha was asking, what if they started attacking you with weapons? Then I would be thinking, okay, they are very kind people. They are only attacking me with these weapons, but they are not threatening my life, only, attacking, doing minor injuries. What if they started doing major injuries, like cutting up your arms and legs and things? Then I would be happy thinking these people are very kind. They are sparing my life. They are not killing me. They are just, this or detaching my limbs from my body, not doing much harm. So then Supreme Buddha was saying, what if they kill you? Then I would be happy thinking some of the monks are trying to get there, thinking that this human life is actually full of suffering. They are trying ways to get that goal. But these people helped me with that and helped me to get out of this suffering, human life. So he was saying that. And Supreme Buddha was saying, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. You are the person that should go and complete your RA journey in Sunaparanta area. So he gave his blessing and permission. Then Sunaparanta Punnathero went to this area, which is called Sunaparanta Desa, and start doing meditation. And there were many stories about him. So this is called Makularama Vihara, the area he resided, now called as Mecca. And he was actually practicing Buddha Dhamma in the area. And then he became Arihat, right? After he becoming Arihat, he was discussing Dhamma with people there. And 500, he actually created 500 bhikkhus, 500 bhikkhunis, as I can remember, 500 bhikkhus and 500 upasakas. Anyway, 1,000 Aryas, and came back to the Supreme Buddha and said, and presented himself to Supreme Buddha and said, I went there, I completed the Arya journey, and these people became disciples of Supreme Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So this is example, a very good example to say that people did not need to come to a specific place to complete their journeys. Now also it's the same. Otherwise, people, individuals in, or the devas in realms of deities like Chatu Maharajika, Tavatins, they also has the ability to attain Sotapanna if they get all the four prerequisites correct. So they don't need to come to earth, come to human realm to do that. They can do that in their own worlds without a problem. So likewise, place is never a problem. It could not be, because it doesn't align with any of the Dhamma, mechanisms or Dhamma principles that are being preached. So that is why what we need to understand here is, now one would think, okay, I'm now free of the doubt that I need to go to a place to do this. But am I getting all the four prerequisites correctly? Am I getting the, Kalyana Mitta Sampatti? Am I getting the Saddhamma Savana? Am I getting the Dhammanudhamma Patipada and Yoniso Manasikara correctly? Am I lacking something? So one can have this mindset, and this is normal to have in the initial phase. But the thing is, according to Sotapatti Thero's Dhamma sermons, what we have understood is, it doesn't take much, it can happen even in a second. It just needs that. It is called Upanisa Sampatti. Upanisa means like helping. The English translation would be helping factor. So Upanisa Sampatti, or helping factor, should be there. So it's like, let's say one is listening to Dhamma through recordings, and now he's understanding Dhamma as well. Now understanding it to a certain, and he's aligning to Dhamma, changing his Dhamma Anudhamma nature. That means he's changing his life according to Dhamma and contemplating on Dhamma. So Yoniso Manasikara is happening, and the Saddhamma Savana is also happening. Maybe Kalyana Mitta Sampatti is the lacking factor here, but all the other three are aligning and growing as well. They are growing inside him. So increasing this thinking ability, or vipassana ability, everything starts, and he's fully aligned now. Now it's just like a lotus flower out of water, just waiting for the sun to bloom, sun to rise. As soon as the sun rises and the light rays started hitting the lotus flower, it will bloom. It's something like that. So it is at the verge of blooming. It's another example is, the water container is full of water. You just need that one drop of water for it to get completed and to spill it out. So it's something like that. So it can even happen in the realm of gods. One of the gods can give that small drop of water. It can happen here even without your knowledge, even without the knowledge of the person who is at the verge. It could be, while traveling, maybe in a plane or a bus. You don't know the other person is Arya or not. You are just talking with him, and maybe he says, okay, the world is of useless nature. That does the job. That can do the job. So up until this moment, we were aligning causes. We were doing all the good things, meritorious things. We were paying respect to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Even without us knowing, in this samsaric journey, we have doing those things immensely, and we were completing our paramitas along the way. And this is not the listening to Dhamma in this instance, and listening to Dhamma in this life is not a coincidence. You have been creating causes. Without causes, there's no effect. So this effect, which you are experiencing right now, listening to Dhamma, changing your lives according to Dhamma, and getting interested in Dhamma, these are not happening as a coincidence. These are not happening without reason. There are reasons, of course. So those reasons are not going to go anywhere. They are going to help you more and more because they are getting strengthened by more and more meritorious power that is being generated. It's a positive feedback mechanism. So another act in Buddha Sasana positively feedbacks the rest of the force that is helping you. It's like one you are recruiting people to push your cart, right? Let's say there's a very heavy cart and 3 people are pushing it. While it is being pushed, it is moving forward and you meet new people and you recruit these people to push the cart even more. So 3 people becomes 4 people, 4 people becomes 5 people. As you move along the road, you meet new people and you recruit them to push your cart. So at the latter part, it will be like 100 people pushing the same cart. So the pathway or the progress speeds up with time. And when that is what is actually happening, you don't have to worry about when you will receive the Kalyanamita Sampatti. Maybe you have already received it. Maybe you will receive it in the future. We don't know actually when it happens. It could be, it's actually in one instance, it was a relative, which was a god who has become Sotapanna, who came or who gave the Kalyanamita Sampatti to him in his, sleepy state. That means he's not awake, he's not asleep, he's in a semi-sleep. So this god, which is a relative of his, who has attained Sotapanna, gave the necessary helping hand, we can say, the Upanishad Sampatti through this media. So it could be different medias, and this mechanism of happening, it is very, very fine and very, very complex. We don't have to understand, and we would never be able to know when it happened if we don't have the pratyaveksha jnana. So if that wisdom is there in somebody, then that person would be able to understand, okay, I got out of this much of defilements right now. So then they can compare and understand, okay, I have attained Sotapatti Phala right now at this instance. But most of the people don't have that ability. Either Supreme Buddha has to confirm that, okay, you have attained Sotapanna Phala. Otherwise, we would not be able to know. But we can know something for certain. We can know that we are aligned with Buddha Sasana right now. So it could not be a coincidence. So we have done all the things that are needed to be done to get this result out. So that means those causes are aligning right now as well. So, and helping me to push forward in the RA journey. And what I am doing right now is also helping that. So I am in the correct pathway. It will happen. And whatever I have understood needs to be practiced more, because that itself is the recruiting of new people to push my cart. So what we do is we keep on listening to Dhamma, we keep on practicing according to Dhamma, we do the Vipassana, we do the meditation, we keep on moving forward. And then we might have the understanding, okay, I have an understanding that this should be the Dhamma that I should know, because this is wholesome. And I have no doubts how to end my RA journey. And I know exactly how to, that means it's like you have gone through the recipe to make cake. So when one has gotten the recipe and has read the recipe, he has not yet prepared cake. He has not yet do the mixing and putting it into the oven and baking the cake, and then you will be able to taste some cake or eat some cake. But that might not has happened. But once you go through the recipe, you might know, I know the full recipe now. It's just a matter of time that I complete my full cake and have a bite of it. So when that understanding is there, that is kind of halfly reassuring, or more than half, maybe 80%, 90% reassuring, that I might know what to do and I need to do what I already know. So even if it is like 80% of certainty, then one can keep on doing that 80%, because doing it itself strengthens the likelihood of completing the RA pathway. What else can we do anyway? If we are not sure, if we are if we feel like, no, there's something I might be missing. So what can we do other than practicing what we already know? Because it is what got us up until to this moment, this point. So doing the same thing might push us even more. So even without our even if we do not actively seek for a Kalyana Mitra, it's all causes and effects. So we did not know that we'll talk like this when we were like 10 years, or when we were, let's say 2 or 3 years before, maybe 3 years or 4 years before, we did not, we had, me and you, both of us, both the parties didn't have any idea we will be having this Dhamma discussion today. So we don't know, and we don't know how the causes are aligning. But we can be sure this has aligned. So we know there should be causes for this effect to align like this. So strengthening those causes actually might do the trick. So don't try to make it, a nivarana for your RA pathway, vichikicha, doubts that might cover up this. Think about it. One thinking about, okay, am I getting all the prerequisites correct right now, would actually hinder your yoniso manasikara. If one is thinking like that, no, just drop that idea and listen to Dhamma with a free mindset, very calm and a very, very open mindset, without thinking about, okay, am I getting this, am I not getting this? Because that itself is a very a mindset with a lot of waves forming on it. So it's not like a still water surface. It is a water surface with a lot of waves forming on it. So we should stop this type of thinking and move forward, because everybody goes through this phase. Everybody starts thinking, okay, am I getting all the correct ingredients for the result that I want? So that is everybody's question. So that is one of the things that I want to tell you, because this doubt is actually not healthy if you continue growing it inside for a very long time. And the other thing is, yes, there are Dhamma is present in countries like Sri Lanka, and having an opportunity is actually not bad. That is good if you can have if you have the ability to come here and have a discussion. That would be very good, because then it will be very practical than this. But it doesn't mean that this is not going to work. I think this is actually a media that you can use. And since there's no abhinya powers in this world right now, these are the this technology is actually the abhinya power that we have, right? We are discussing with somebody that are maybe 2,000, 3,000 kilometers away from where I am staying. So without abhinya powers like Manomerdi or Erudivida, I would not be able to do that in the past. But today it is possible. So this might be the, this technology might be the thing that fills the gap that we are facing right now. As actually we can have individuals who has the potential to understand Dhamma anywhere in the world, because we don't know their journeys. We don't have any idea how completed their paramitas are. So If there's a gap in that, that means physical gap, where the Kalyana Mitra cannot reach the person who has the potential to understand them. That gap was in the past, it was filled with abhijna, and today it is filled with technology. I think that is a very good thing that has happened with technology. If you actually with the development of and advancement of technology. And the thing is about central region and Madhya Mandala, I tell you something about it as well, is actually um, there's a lot of debate in this area. And of course, Vaharaka Thero publicly said that he might had an opinion, and I might even know the opinion he had, but he said as a public answer or a common answer to this was actually his answer was, I repeat his answer because he was the one he was our mentor, and he know what is best to be delivered to this world. So he said, it is not needed for someone to attain and complete their Arya journeys. Being in the Madhya Mandala or knowing the Madhya Mandala, where it is or the history of it, has nothing to do with Dhamma, understanding and completion and ending the suffering samsaric journey. That is what he focused. Because opening that door would lead to many other questions, like how did that happen? The history says something else, and the world tells something else, and the books tell something else, and this is something else, and if this is the correct thing, then where is this? Where is that? It opens up a door that cannot be closed very easily. So, and it is not needed as well to complete the Arya pathway. So his answer to this question was asked many times from him. So he said, no, so just focus on the basics of Dhamma, and you would not care because there was a Supreme Buddha before this, and a Supreme Buddha before this, and many Supreme Buddhas before our Supreme Buddha, Gautama Supreme Buddha. So even if we know all the stories about them, we would not be able to, I mean, where he was born, what his father's name, what his mother's name, what his main disciple's name. We could have known everything and wrote a very big book about them as well. But we would never be able to end the suffering samsaric journey using any of those factors. What is essential for us to understand and focus is actually the reality, which is the anicca, dukkha, anatta nature, and the blissfulness of letting go, anuloma kshanti and sammata niyama. So if one focuses on that and works on that, then that person would be able to complete their Arya journeys, and maybe would be able to open up the abhijnas that might have, and then you might have your own experience and know exactly where Supreme Buddha was and how he was, where he was born, where he became Arihat or Supreme Buddha, enlightened, and where he passed away, and all these answers would come to you without doubts. Because now, if I tell something, it can definitely raise doubts, because I myself have not seen it. I am just telling, I am repeating something that was told. That is one of the problems this conversation might have, and you might not be able to understand it for sure, because we are listening to some facts which happened in the past. But the thing is, Dhamma does not have that quality. When it comes to Dhamma, we exactly see anicca, dukkha, anatta, and we reflect on it through our lives, and it becomes an experience of ourselves. So then there's no doubt about it. So that is the difference between these two things. But I will tell you this much: Madhya Mandala, or the central region, is where the Bo tree is. So if you know, for the Supreme Buddha to get enlightened, you need the Bo tree, which is still there. It will be there for the 5,000 years, lifespan of 5,000 years, because that is the lifespan of the Supreme Sasana. So for the whole 5,000 years, and in every Buddha Sasana, that Bo tree, the version of the tree can change, but it will be planted. It plants automatically in that place with Sahajata Pratyaya. So it is being emanated in the same place, and that place is the central point of Madhya Mandala. And around making that the epicenter, we can see the central plane, or central region, or Madhya Mandala. So now also, that pure energy, that energy that a disciple needs to complete their Arya journeys, especially the Supreme Buddha could have finished his Arya journey when he was meeting Dipankara Buddha as Sumedha Tapasa, Sumedha the hermit. So if he had the ability to listen to 4 stanzas of Dhamma and become Arihat. He had that ability. But he postponed that for 400,000 eons, Maha eons. That means biggest eons, 400,000 of them, so that we are also able to understand Dhamma through a Supreme Buddha. So that sacrifice has 2 parts. One is him becoming Buddha, and the other one is helping others to attain enlightenment. So his Paramita journey had 2, especially this one goal, which is helping all the sentient beings to attain Nibbana. So his energy, the energy he created for 400,000 eons actually helped all the disciples to complete their Arya journeys, because he created it in that way. So all the meritorious, all the paramita power agglomerate together to create this Bodhi tree, or emanation of the Bodhi tree is a result of this paramita power. So since paramita power has everything to do with enlightenment of Supreme Buddha, as well as the enlightenment of all the disciples of him, we also get a fair share of that energy being transferred to us, even without knowing. We get the influence. It is the best way to say it. We get the influence of the Bodhi tree as the practitioners of Supreme Buddha or Supreme Dhamma. So that is why it is the Madhya Mandala, or the central point, or the epicenter, or Supreme Buddha, or a Bodhisattva needs to go to this place and sit under this Bodhi tree to get enlightened, to get the maximum effect of it. We might not need that, because we are not planning to become Supreme Buddhas. We also get the, since we are connected with this Buddha Sasana, we also get that fair share, or the necessary amount of power, the external power that is needed to complete our Arya journeys, which is coming from the Supreme Buddha's aspect. So that is the story about Madhya Mandala. So I hope the answer to this first question is clear. And if you have more follow-up questions regarding what we have discussed, please feel free to send them to the chat. And there's one more question. We'll discuss that question right now. I think it is also a very little bit of a technical question. And everyone can hear me, right? Okay, then we'll move on to the second question. In the Madhupindika Sutta, it says that Papanca arises from contact and feeling and leads to mental proliferation and conflict. Could you explain more clearly how Prapancha starts in everyday life and how we can notice and stop it before it leads to suffering? So these suttas are, I have read the Madhupindika Sutta once or twice, but I am not quite remembering everything that is preached in the sutta. I might have to refer it again to give you exactly what the Madhupindika Sutta says, but I can give an answer to this question, focusing on what I have already inside. So Papancha is kind of ways of thinking, or we can say, I'll approach this question with an example. So and before doing that, I have to tell all the suttas try to get us to the same end goal, which is Nibbana. So it's like, let's say your capital town is Seoul, and you are in various places, like maybe in peripheral areas or town areas away from the capital city, near to the capital city, in the hill country, or maybe in the south, maybe in the north. Everyone is in different places, but everyone needs to come to the capital city. So if that is the case, each person has to take a different path, but end result is the same, which is entering the capital city. But person who is staying in the south region cannot use the pathway or the directions that is given to the person who is coming to the capital city from the northern region. Those are two different things. So just like that, everything in Buddha Sasana also, each and every Arya are not practicing Dhamma or understanding Dhamma in the same manner. They have different Indriya variations, and due to these differences in Indriyas, they understand Dhamma. Of course, everybody understands the same Dhamma, but understand it in a different angle. So it's like one from northern region entering the capital city using the specific directions, a specific road, and one from the southern region is using another set of directions and another set of roads. So just like that, all the suttas are trying to get us to that end goal of Nibbana, but each has differences in them. And it's the same story being said in different ways. It's the same story because end result is the same. It's the same story but said in different ways. One can have it's like using anicca dukkha anatta or using paticcasamuppada. It's the same thing, but anicca dukkha anatta has paticcasamuppada in it, but the paticcasamuppada part is hidden. Anicca dukkha anatta is the thing that is highlighted. But in Paticcasamuppada, Anicca Dukkha Anatta is also inside Paticcasamuppada, but it is hidden. Paticcasamuppada is more highlighted. Just like that, in this also, everything that we have discussed from Anicca Dukkha Anatta is also hidden in this Madhupindika Sutta as well. But it highlights a different aspect that one can use to enter the understanding and complete the understanding. So my point here is, we don't have to know each and every sutta in the Tripitaka to complete our Arya journeys. If we understand one correctly and can understand it, like back and forth without problem, use that one because that is what is working for you. And be practical and try to apply it in everyday work, every day. That is what I have understood so far in my monk life as well. We don't need fancy things, fancy Dhamma points to complete this our journey. It is the most simple thing that we need. But using it many, many times, over and over again, trying to understand the deeper things using that simple thing, a simple understanding. So what I usually do is I try to understand the this is what works for me actually. So the blissful, as sattva, we are after blissfulness. And to get rid of to understand the reality of the blissfulness, that means this is about worldly blissfulness that comes with images, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and thoughts. So everybody as sattva are after them. But we feel this blissfulness because there is an inner deficiency, inner vexation. If we did not have the urge and vexation to watch TV, we would not enjoy TV, we would not feel that as blissful, because TV show itself is neutral, but our mind is the problem. Our mind is deficient to feel that neutral, and our mind is deficient, so we feel that neutral TV show as positive, and depending on that wrong experience, that delusional experience, or that deceptive experience, we decide that this is what we want to do for the rest of our lives. So we kept on developing deficiencies again and again, thus proving the delusion and continuing to do that without knowing that we are suffering in the process so much, and we are actually trapped in a cycle of suffering. Dukkha dukkha, or vexation, and sankhara dukkha, the answer to that vexation, and viparinama dukkha, or coming back of that vexation back again. So that is where we get stuck. So seeing that again and again in your day-to-day life, and trying to get out of the cravings, trying to get out of attachments, the severe attachments initially, leading to finer ones gradually, using this opportunity to approach gradually towards our defilements, attachment, or raga, dosa, and moha, that is what I would practice as my everyday practice in my life. So that changes depending on the circumstance, depending on the practical experience. With time, we tend to understand, okay, this might work here better than my original approach. So likewise, it can change with time, but we might not need to go through all of these Dhamma points. But that is a good practice. I am not discouraging you to do that, but always understand practical approach is something different. It's not, these are things that we would go through, and we would try to understand, so that we would develop so much shraddha, and so much respect towards the Dhamma, towards the Buddha, thinking that this is a very, very, very well said and very well articulated. This Dhamma has no loopholes in them. This Dhamma is so fascinating that it aligns like pieces of a puzzle. So that helps actually, because it needs a little bit of everything. So we need to have the practical aspect, and that should be our priority. But we might not be able to live our lives with only that, because as humans, everybody get bored after some time when you start doing the same thing. So we have to change the boredom with good things, not bad things. It's not like we are going to watch a TV show so that we can get out of boredom. But we can get out of boredom by reading a very good, very interesting sutta and trying to understand it, because it also helps indirectly, at least indirectly, to our main course. So that is what we do. So trying to understand these suttas are good, but I am always trying to make you remind about the main thing that you should understand and you should follow. So after making that point, we'll try to answer this question. So Prapanya, right? So in Prapanya, so the thing is, you have Nama Rupa. So what is Nama Rupa? So we'll go through Nama Rupa first. So let's say I have a bottle with me right now, or let's say you have a phone with you right now. You have a mobile phone. So you close your eyes. Now this person, let's say the person is blind, and you are given a mobile phone, and you have not seen mobile phones before. This is the first time that you touch a mobile phone, and you get the mobile phone, as let's say the person is blind, and the person is trying to understand the mobile phone. What is he doing? He is using his hands to gather information about this object. What is the length? What is the shape? What is the hardness? And he taps on that as well. What sound does it make? And he maybe puts it in his mouth and tries to taste it as well. Whether is it edible? Does it have a taste? And he smells it as well. Okay, what is the smell of it? Because his eyes are not working. Let's say the eyes are also okay. The person is not blind. Now he's getting another sense, another sensory organ, which he uses to gather more information. He's now seeing, okay, what is the color of it? Black color. And it has a screen that lights up. So likewise, he's gathering information and uploading it to Namagotta, right? So this is called Nama. Nama means Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. You know, Rupa is Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana is Nama. So what the person is doing? Creating Vedana by touch, Passa Pachya Vedana. So touch leads to Vedana. So the person is creating touch through eyes, through ears, through nose, tongue, body. He is gathering Vedana. And Vedana leads to Sanya, right? And so Vedana and various Sanyas come. Oh, this looks like plastic. One Sanya. This is this much of weight. This has this much of length. This is like a cube or a piece of a flat rock. So that is Sanya. So Sanyas are being collected, Vedanas are being created. So Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Or Sankara is occurring, right? So the process or the creation of various, or this process is being created. So creation itself is Sankara. So Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana. So Vijnana is the consciousness about this feeling or consciousness about experience of a mobile phone. Does he know that this is a mobile phone? No, he doesn't. He's just gathering information. Now let's assume that person is again blind. Okay, so the person can't see. So now he gathered a lot of information through his four senses: ears, tongue, nose, and body. And after that, this phone was taken back by the owner. And after a few days, this was given to him again and asked, what is this? And you say, okay, this is what you gave me few days back. I have touched this. I know what this is. Right? So this is what happens in small children as well. So after that you say, okay, this is called mobile phone. So after that, this person now knows a name for that object. Or in other words, and this is very important, he now has given a name to that experience or data that he collected. Now it was taken back again, and after 2 days it was given. Now what does he say? Okay, this is the mobile phone. This is a mobile phone. Because he has again touched it and gathered the information and compared it with his past data. And in the past data, he was said that it is called a mobile phone, and now he knows that it is a mobile phone. So this is how Nama Rupa works. What is Nama? Nama is the gathering of data through Rupa. So we got a Rupa. Mobile phone is a Rupa. It has Rupa Rupa, Saddha Rupa, Gandha Rupa, Rasa Rupa, Pottabha Rupa. All the 5, right? Because you have a Rupa Rupa, means in this case, since he's blind, no Rupa Rupa for him. But tapping the phone would create a sound image. And Gandha Rupa, smell of the phone, would create the smell image. Then the taste image, touch image. So all the things. Oh, image might not be the word, but pattern, touch pattern, taste pattern, smell pattern, image pattern. All the patterns are being collected. And now he has given a name to this pattern called mobile phone. Now he is actually, while he is getting the phone back again, when he is touching the phone again, he is actually comparing those patterns with his old patterns and deciding that it is the same and giving a name to it. So that is the Nama Rupa. So now we are going through the Paticcasamuppada. Avijja Pacca Sankhara. Sankhara Pacca Vijnana. Vijnana Pacca Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa Pacca Salayatana. So if you go through another Paticcasamuppada, which is in the Digha Nikaya, in Mahanidana Sutta, it goes like, no avijja, no sankhara, starts with Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa Pacca Passo. Passa Pacca Vedana. Vedana Pacca Tanha. Tanha Pacca Upadana. Upadana Pacca Bhava. Bhava Pacca Jati. Jati Pacca Jara Marana Soka Parideva Dukkha Domana Supaya Sambhavanti. So when it goes upward, it's like Jati, then Bhava, then Upadana, then comes Tanha, then comes Vedana, then comes Passa, then comes Nama Rupa, then comes Vijnana, then comes Nama Rupa, then comes Vijnana, then comes Nama Rupa, then comes Vijnana. So it's a loop there. Nama Rupa and Vijnana, Nama Rupa Vijnana, Nama Rupa Vijnana, and that is what leads to the Paticcasamuppada, and this is where the problem is. So the thing is actually avijja and sankhara is embedded inside that cycle. That's why we can't see it in that sutta. So now we are trying to understand what has happened there. So here, Vijnana was created with avijja, sankhara. Vijnana was created. So now let's take an example. So let's say a person is an alcoholic. So what happened? Alcohol drinking mindset arose. So alcohol drinking mindset was, it arose because of sankhara and because of avijja about, or value, or nicha sukha atta subha mindset about drinking. So it created a deficient mindset which craves alcohol. Now, that vijnana is what leads to Nama Rupa. So in this instance, when the mindset is of vexatious nature, now that can this vexatious mindset, which is mindset that craves for alcohol, can it occur without the knowledge about alcohol? No. So he has gathered, just like the blind person has gathered many information through his eyes, through his ears, nose, tongue, body about alcohol, has gathered them, has drunk alcohol, has drunken alcohol, and has gathered more and more information. And now that mindset, which is alcohol-seeking mindset, is actually looking for the same experience. Now, all the 5 senses are being used just like in the blind person's case, the blind person is trying to touch the phone in each and every way he can, and try to bite it, try to tap on it, try to smell it, and try to gather a lot of information and try to compare it with past experiences of him. Just like that, this vijnana is actually searching for the same nama qualities. That means same Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana by associating with the Rupa. So that is what he is trying to do. He is trying to get associated. That Vijnana is actually in a constant search for Rupa that would give out the same Prapancha. Prapancha means that same effect, that same idea. The thing is, in this mindset, Nitya Sukha Atta Subha is like hidden and mixed like a blend. It has blended to the Namarupa. It has blended to the Vijnana. So that blending is what we need to separate from the original mindset. So when that is gone, it will be just understanding of another object, understanding that this is a bottle, understanding that this has alcohol maybe. But it would not create that vexatiousness, the suffering nature, because now it has become a process. But when that is not there, that mindset, that means this mindset that seeks for alcohol, it has a anicca sukha atta subha mixture of Nitya Sukha Atta Subha along with the Nama Rupa or data that is being gathered. So that is why he is also looking for that kind of Nama Rupa again. So it might be a little tricky and technical, but since the Prapancha was asked, I think this needs to be said. So then we have like Nama. For Nama Rupa, another name is the name, right? So for example, you have the mobile phone. The name of the mobile phone is also called Nam. That is why we said in the initial in the initial discussion for Nama Rupa has different meanings. But we can align all the meanings and make connections with them. See, Nama Rupa, we gathered a lot of data and we gave a name for that. That is also Nama. That gathering of data, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, is called Nama. And the combination to that set of data, which is called mobile phone, is also Nama. And the pattern that gave us that data is called Rupa, and image or the pattern itself is also called Rupa. So we are in constant search of Nama Rupa. Those Vijnanas are actually in constant search of Nama Rupa, so that they can experience the relevant Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. And again, that mindset is actually seeking for the same experience again and again. The person is actually thinking without even knowing, I want to have this kind of alcohol, I want to have alcohol experience tomorrow as well, day after tomorrow as well. And until my life is there, I want to drink alcohol. That means he is looking for the same Rupa. So that mindset is looking for the same Rupa so that he can have the same set of Nama, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. So it creates the cycle Nama Rupa Paccha Vijnana, Vijnana Paccha Nama Rupa. Why? Vijnana was the deficiency. Deficiency is because he wants that Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. He can't have the Vedana, Sankara, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana without a Rupa. So it is connected nama rupa. So he is looking for that external objects, and external objects are looked with a charged mindset. So that is why when the mindset is charged, that mindset always sees the external object as distorted. It is seen as a distorted object. It is not seen as its original form. So in the question, you asked, in the Madhyapindika Sutta, it says that Papanca arises from contact and feeling. Yes, contact and feeling is premeditated, thought before the contact itself, because contact comes later, vijnana comes before that. Vijnana comes before and passa comes later. So that vijnana is looking for a certain kind of nama or certain kind of deficiency is there in the vijnana. So it tries to do something and fulfill that deficiency. So the contact is premeditated and feeling is premeditated in that vijnana. So whatever you feel is felt as the vijnana wants it. Vijnana wants it in a certain way, and that is how you are going to feel it. That is why when the vijnana is innocent, has no idea about alcohol, would feel the normal a bottle of innocent liquid. You know, the child who sees a bottle of alcohol might have no idea and might not create vexation inside him. But when the mindset itself is of vexatious nature, that vexatious mindset is looking for answers in a certain way and would find those answers in a very distorted way. Because even before contact and feeling, you are already charged. So that it's like bottle is in zero level, but the mind is in minus 100. So for minus 100, bottle which is zero becomes plus 100. So contact and feeling leads to mental proliferation. That means that would create a illusion, and person's experience would become erroneous. That means the person's experience is now plus, positive, happy, and Vedana is also happy. And happy Vedana, initially it was vexatious mindset, leading to now happy or positive Vedana, blissful Vedana. And the conclusion is tanha and upadana. That is why proliferation and conflict occurs. Because depending on that experience, the person makes it sure, or person's mindset or person's avijja decides, okay, this is fun, this is good, this experience is positive, I should continue doing it again and again. That would actually positively feedback the mechanism, that would actually encourage the mechanism to continue, and this becomes a cycle. So I think then how does prapancha starts in everyday life? And as long as we do not see that this is how we have gathered information all our lives, how with a mix of avijja, with a mix of nichya sukha atta subha. So while we are touching the mobile phone, we are gathering information with asati, or with no mindfulness, no sati at all, no yoniso manasikara. So when that is done, we are always in search for something good externally. When all the data are collected in a wrong manner, we tend to have a huge database of data which are corrupted with nichya sukha atta subha. When that is the case, we cannot escape from this reality. We cannot escape from this trap very easily and to see the reality. It is very hard because all our data which is in the cloud or which is in Namagota are corrupted. So whatever we grab from that, or whatever we have to actually create new data. anicca, dukkha, anatta, asubha ones. That's what the practice is about. So we have to think and we have to practice regularly, practically do it with our, four satipatthanas, kayanupassana, vedananupassana, chittanupassana, dhammanupassana, or in other words, the eightfold pathway. So use these methodologies to rewire the program, or or change the program. We have to remove all the defilements that are embedded in these sanya, vedana, sanya, sankara, vijnana in the past. Because as soon as we get the vedana, as soon as we touch, without even knowing avijja, sankara, vijnana, that vijnana starts developing. And that vijnana wants the same experience because it was created with wrong, erroneous data, thinking that these are the things that I should experience. These are the things that gives blissfulness to me. So those are the data that actually resulted in this vijnana. For example, drinking, right? So drinking mindset was created with wrong data, wrongly processed data. Data that were processed with avijja sankara resulted in this wrong vijnana. And vijnana itself fuels or feeds on the same data, so it looks for same data. Even the bottle is innocent, even the alcohol is innocent. Now since this vijnana is looking for that kind of touch and that kind of feeling, that is exactly what it gets, because this vijnana is already charged. So charged vijnana gets a erroneous result, or a vedana. And since this vedana gives a very deceptive experience of blissfulness, and then the decision is actually what I thought initially is correct. That means that vexatious mindset is correct, because taking alcohol is so good. That is what the vexatious mindset said. The urge to drink alcohol because it is good, in the background it says that it is good, that is why there's urge to drink it. So that conclusion of the vijnana was actually proven right by the deceptive paticcasamuppada through blissful vedana. That is why the person decides avijja, that's why the person decides tanha. Not the person, but the causes and effects decide tanha. And upadana, when it comes to upadana, the paticcasamuppada and avijja and all the causes has decided, I want to experience it again and again. That means I want to experience the same nama rupa again and again. So to experience the same nama rupa, you need to have the rupa, which is the bottle, alcohol bottle, and you need to have a set of another nama rupa, which is body and mind. So that is why the two sets of nama rupa comes. One is body and mind, because you need the external organs as well as the internal organs. You need the external nama rupa as well as the internal nama rupa. So internal nama rupa, that's why when the person dies as an alcoholic, he'll create another set of mind and body, so that he can continue the same thing that he did before. So he can look for the same data from the external world and experience the same data and continue this deceptive blissful experience forever. That's why he's creating another set of body and mind, which is also vexatious. So this is again the same thing but said in a different way. So papancha is the way you see, because you have, when the person has anicca, nicca, sukha, atta, subha mixed up with the data that is being received, you get certain kind of corrupted data, set of data, and that is what drives this problem. So that is why breaking of nama rupa, it seems, solves the problem. You see nama rupa as nama rupa, that itself actually removes the avijja, because Even if you break the Paticcasamuppada in one point, that means if you see the Vedana as itself, as Vedana correctly, that also is enough. If you see Passa, as Anicca Dukkha Anatta, and the Avijja part of Passa correctly, that also breaks the Paticcasamuppada. No matter where you see it, you have 12 components. You can see Paticcasamuppada from any of those components. Nama Rupa is another one where you can try to break the Paticcasamuppada. And it depends on each one's Indriya. As I said before, might not work this style for someone. It might not work for somebody, and for another person it might work, and it might be easier than the others. So the thing is, Prapancha, I'll have to go through the whole Madhupindika Sutta again to tell you exactly what the Sutta is talking about. But this Prapancha is actually due to mixing up, that means it's very hard to think of a English word to Prapancha. So instead of telling you one single word, I just went through the explanation. So is it clear, or do you have any other questions regarding this? Might be a little heavy. Maybe if we go to this written whiteboard thing, I might be able to draw it very quickly, and you would be able to understand it more clearly. I actually forgot that we had that option. Give me a few seconds. I'll try to draw it. Right. So tanha, and so on, right? So this is Vijnana, this is Namarupa. So this Vijnana here, so this is the Patisampada that I told you. This is the Patisampada in Digha Nikaya, and Mahanidana Sutta. So it starts with Vijnana. Vijnana Pacha Namarupam, Namarupa Pacha Vijnana. And this Namarupa comes like, when you come from here to here, it's one Namarupa, and when you go from here to here, it's another Namarupa. So Vijnana, the alcohol drinking mindset, actually looks for a certain type of Nama, or Vedana Sanya Sankara Vijnana. For that to be obtained, this Nama actually associates with Rupa, or looks for Rupa. And when it finds a Rupa, it actually gets what it wants, so it comes through Passa, Vedana, and Tanha, it goes on. But when you go from Nama Rupa to Vijnana, you associate with the same. When you see the Rupa, right? When you get associate with the Rupa, that itself would, when you touch, or when the image is touched, when the sound is touched, when the taste and smell and touch, when these are being taken in as in the form of Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, since at every instance, all of these points, avijja also plays a role. This Rupa is actually touched along with avijja. So everything, all these Vedana, Sanya, Sankara and Vijnana is mixed with avijja or Nitya Sukhat Subha mindset. So this itself would strengthen the Vijnana. Vijnana looks for Namarupa. Namarupa itself would strengthen the Vijnana. So the Prapancha is the way the person sees the world. So since the person sees the world in a distorted way through Vijnana, it is actually this Prapancha that decides how you see the Namarupa. It's like, the glasses. You are already wearing tinted glasses so that you are seeing Namarupa in black. Or if the tint is blue, you would be seeing it in blue. So the blue, seeing it in blue would actually would make you understand in a wrong manner. One would understand that what you are seeing is actually blue, and that would actually strengthen the Vijnana more. So in a way, Prapancha, the touch and Vedana, that leads the touch and Vedana, which is created after the Vijnana, would definitely lead to proliferation and conflict, because you are deceived in the process, and deception would increase the vexation more and more. When the vexation is more, you need to continue doing it to get out of the vexation, and when the objects which would remove the vexation are being subjected to anicca dukkha anatta nature, then it would lead to conflict. So it is very, you can understand it like that. So I hope this, it's very hard to put these things into English language, because no words to explain most of the things, but I tried to explain it. Maybe you can listen to it again, and if you have any follow-up questions about it, you can ask, if you don't have any questions right now. I think Mr. Amin, who asked the question, is not here right now with us. So then if you don't have any other questions, then since we have already covered our 2 hours, we can end our discussion for today. Okay, so then we'll end the discussion. So we were discussing the basic concepts of Dhamma and practical things that we should focus on when we are practicing the Arya pathway. And we discussed what we should prioritize and what we should, how we should approach some questions that we might encounter in the Arya pathway. And all of these are questions and answers. Our main objective is, of course, to complete our Arya pathways, attaining Nibbana, ending the suffering samsaric life, samsaric journey. So the Dhamma discussions and understanding of anicca, dukkha, anatta, and paticcasamuppada, and discussing about them, contemplating about them, might have created immeasurable amounts of meritorious power. And this meritorious power, just as we discussed before, is the driving force of our Arya progress in our Arya pathway. So we know that, and let us also focus that meritorious power, wishing ourselves Nibbana, all the meritorious power that is generated today may agglomerate together, helping everyone to complete your RA pathways with ease and comfort. All the barriers, hindrances, and obstacles that everyone is having to complete your RA pathways, to open up your eyes of wisdom, may get diminished, and may everyone get the ability to complete your RA pathways without discomfort by and ultimately may everyone be able to complete by attaining Nibbana. Accept this blessing with the sadhukara.
Sadhu,
사두,
sadhu.
사두, 사두.
And let us transfer this meritorious power to all the sentient beings in the universe, especially everyone who helped us during this sansari journey. Parents, teachers, everyone who were telling us what is right and what is wrong and directed us to good and wholesomeness, and also everyone who were who actually constructed our houses and everything that we use, our vehicles and everything around the infrastructure as well, and also everyone who helped us to have this Dhamma discussion without discomfort by maintaining these temples, by maintaining or constructing these temples, by sponsoring for the Zoom platforms, internet connections, electricity, devices that we use, and also everyone who are behind the scene helping us, coordinating these things, and helping us to have these Dhamma discussions without disruption. And also, let us focus on all the sentient beings who were hurt and harmed by our past actions. Due to 10 akusala, we might have hindered, harmed many sentient beings. Let us know our faults, correct them, and move forward to become the best version of ourselves. And let's take this opportunity to transfer this meritorious power to them as well with metta and kindness, and also all the deities and gods, Brahma gods, who are in six planes of deities and 20 planes of Brahma, and all the sentient beings in the universe. Let us transfer this meritorious power to them, irrespective of wherever they are in this universe, regardless of their current state of being. If they are in miserable places, may they refrain from doing sins, may they replace those sinful acts with meritorious deeds, and may they lead happy lives, ultimately understanding the reality of the world, attaining supreme bliss of Nibbana. Until that, may they complete complete their complete the environment that is needed to attain Nibbana, full of long life, power, skills, comfort, and wisdom. So, in that background, may everyone be able to complete their Arya journeys attaining Nibbana. Transfer this great meritorious power to all of them with metta and kindness by reciting sadhu 3 times.
Sadhu,
사두,
sadhu,
사두.
sadhu.
So I'll be reciting this Pali stanza to everyone, blessing everyone with long life, power, skills, comfort, and wisdom. Abhivadana Siddhisa Nichang Vaddhapchayano Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayuvanno Sukhambalang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sakka Sampatti Mevachato Nibbana Sampatti Minate Samijatu. May everyone attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Teruvan Saranai.
Teruvan Saranay.
Saranay.